Hi guys, a while back I made a video about how to achieve aesthetics using different styles of lighting. And today we're gonna go over how to actually use different techniques in lighting to enhance the story and the emotion within your films. Now the most obvious part of lighting in a film is just the exposure and the brightness. You would have probably seen that in the lighter genres, such as comedies, you'll have a much brighter and happier look, while in darker genres you'll have a much darker and gloomy look, and that feeds in both into the coloring and the lighting. It's just something to keep in mind while you're lighting. But lighting does not stop there at all. There's way more, so that's what we're going to look at today, and just learn about how different angles to the actor's face can really affect their performance. So let's dive into that right now. So recently I was watching Shane Hurlbert's illumination experience, and one of the best parts of the tour was when he put the talent in the center of a room and he had some lights go around her in a circle, and he would just stop at different points and just highlight how the different lighting angles would just affect her face and her performance and everything. And this was really, really cool, and got me thinking about how many angles there are at which you can put light to an actor's face, and I'd never really thought about this, and it really makes a huge, huge difference. And to practice this, there are two options. One, you can go on this website called Virtual Lighting Studio, linked right here or in the description, which is really cool. You can just virtually light a 3D model of a head using different styles of lights at different angles, or you can do it live in real life, just getting somebody to sit down and getting a battery-powered light or something like that and going around them, which is what we're going to do. And today we'll just go over three different main angles at which you can put the light, which will really differently affect how the actor looks and how the lines and what she does or what he does will look like. So let's get into that right now. So the most basic setup for a light is just putting the light at the same height as the actor's face. And what this does is it just smooths out all the features in the actor's face, and this makes them look much younger. Because as you know, the face is made out of different ledges, basically. You've got the eyes, you've got the nose, you've got the mouth, and the chin. So if you put the light at the same height as the actor's head, all these features are going to be completely smoothed out. And this is going to make them look much, much younger, much, much happier. It'll give them a strong eye light, and just will look very, very nice. So that is usually most used in comedies and lighter genres, and when you want the audience to actually like a character. Instead, we'll go on to the next one, which is lighting from the top. Now, this is used actually very lot in darker genres such as horror and thrillers. And what this does is that it actually hides the eyes, and it gives lots of dark shadows in all the features of the actor's face. Especially, one of the most important parts is the hiding of the eyes. This is what I tried to do in my last cardistry video. I failed miserably because I put the light too low, but if you see a screenshot from the Now You See Me scene, they did it very well, and they just completely hid the character's eyes. And what this does is it completely detaches the character from the audience, and the audience just doesn't know the character at all because they can't see his eyes, and the eyes is the thing that makes the audience attached to the character, basically. And there's no eye light or anything, and this just gives a very mysterious look. To go even further with that, you can have the light be even behind the character. And what this does is it completely puts all the actor's face in complete shadow, which is an extreme version of what I was saying earlier. And this really is a great shot for a villain or something, because you just cannot see their face, and they just look very mysterious and very badass, which is a great way of presenting a villain. So now going to the opposite of that, and now this is lighting from the bottom. Now this is probably much less common, and it's not really used as extremely as the lighting from the top, but if you light extremely from the bottom, it's going to look very weird. I don't think one would use it except for maybe horror comedies. But if you light just slightly below the middle line, it will give a really, really cool look of anger to the actor's face. And this is because nose shadow is projected onto the eyebrows of the actor in a slanted line, which gives a very cool, traditional cartoon anger look. And so if you've got an actor that just cannot be angry on camera, he's just really, really bad, if you just light him from the bottom, it will give him a very angry look without doing... I mean, you can even just do it in front of the mirror. Test this. If you just light it from a normal angle, you'll look just fine, and then you put it underneath, you'll just look angry even if your face is perfectly normal, even smiling. So this is a really, really cool tool to have. These are just only 3 angles. There are loads more, and it's really up to you to just experiment doing these little tests. And it's amazing how these different angles of light can really affect the actor's look and actor's performance. So it's really something to keep in mind. I also mentioned highlights earlier, and basically what the highlight is the reflection from the light from the actor's eye into the camera. And basically what it does is that it just gives soul and happiness and coolness to a character in the film. If you don't have an highlight, it will look kind of flat and boring, and it won't look that great. And however, I got an idea recently, and which I thought was pretty cool, which was basically a way of emphasizing the death of a character, and that is to remove the highlight at the moment that he makes his last breath. I saw this in some film, I can't remember what it was, but I thought it was really, really cool. So just if he's lying on the ground or is in his deathbed and he's about to die, you can just move the camera just slightly so that it's out of that reflective field, and there will not be any highlight after he's dead. And this completely just removes the soul out of the character and will really emphasize the death. I mean, the audience probably won't notice, but as I was saying, it probably will feed into the subconscious's perception of the film, and it will enrich their experience. And as always, cinematography is something that shouldn't be overused, especially if you've got other departments or other parts of the production being so good. If you've got a great location and great cast, you don't want to dive into the cinematography too much, because the worst thing that can happen is actually it will take away from the performance and the great look that the location has. It's like too shaky camera movement, you know? So if you have a great other parts of the production, don't dive too much into the cinematography. However, that being said, if you've got terrible actors and a white room with nothing in it, then really dive into the lighting, dive into the shaky camera movement, and that will really enhance the story, even if the actors are total crap and the location looks absolutely terrible. So, yeah, so definitely keep that in mind. But apart from that, if you've got any suggestions for future episodes or shorts, please tell me here, or in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and apart from that, see you next week.